Hello future Phantom pilots! Welcome to your quick start guide for the F-4 Phantom inside of DCS World. If you are eager to get airborne without diving into the detailed crew chief tests, well, then you're in the right place. What I love about DCS World is it allows you to be how realistic you want to be, or you can simply just start up and skip all the checklists. Remember, this is all about how you want to play. Today we'll focus on swiftly starting the jet, getting out to the runway, and taking off. For those seeking an ultra-realistic startup procedure, then check out Reflected Simulations. I've linked his channel in the description and pinned comment below, so be sure to give him some love and check him out. Alright, let's get into the cockpit and get ready for action. We'll cover both the standard cold start and the cold start with cartridges. Let's go! Alright, welcome to the F-4 cockpit. Let's get started. Let's put on our helmet. Come over here to the right, left click on our helmet. And then we'll bring up the Gesture UI menu and select Crew Chief, External Power, Connect. Now to get rid of the Gesture UI menu, you actually have to press and hold the button long, and it goes away. So bring it up with a short press, get rid of it with a long press. External power is now connected. We can turn on our generators for the external power. Next, we'll bring up the Gesture UI, go to Air Source, and connect to right engine.
Roger.
We'll turn on our right engine master.
Connected it on the right.
Now that the crew chief has connected air on the right engine, we'll bring up the Gesture UI and click on Start Airflow.
Yep, I'm done.
So we're looking for 10% RPM, and then we'll advance the right throttle to the halfway position while holding the right ignition button, and then bring the throttle back to idle and release the ignition button. We hit 10%. Here's the ignition button. Bring it to halfway, and then back to idle. Release the ignition button. Good engine start on the right. Bring up the Gesture UI. Go to Stop Airflow.
And done.
Next, we'll bring the right generator online. After the right generator is online, you can bring up the Gesture UI again and go to Connect to Left Engine for
Roger.
the air source.
Connected on the left, sir.
Now the crew chief is connected on the left with the external air. We'll turn on the left engine master switch, bring up the Gesture UI, and start airflow.
Yep, done.
And just like the right engine, we're looking for 10%. Hold the ignition button, bring the throttle to halfway, and then back to idle. Release the ignition button. Alright, we got a good engine start. Bring the left generator to on. And then we're going to cycle the right generator. So off, and then back on. So Gesture is asking us to start the alignment. We'll say yes.
You got it. Which alignment do you want?
So he'll ask you which alignment you want. You can do full alignment, stored alignment, or bath alignment. Today we'll do the full alignment. You can choose whichever one you wish.
Copy, full alignment. Gonna take a few minutes.
Now the Gesture has the alignment going. We can disconnect the external air, so we'll stop the airflow.
And done.
And we'll disconnect.
Roger. And we're disconnected.
Now the external air is disconnected. We'll disconnect the external power.
Roger. Yes, sir. External power is disconnected.
Okay, so before the taxi, we'll turn on our TACAN to transmit receive. Go to transmit receive guard on the radio. If you wanted to use presets, it's on the left. If you want to go to manual, it's here on the right. And we'll turn our IFF to standby. Next, we'll turn on the radar altimeter, set whatever altitude you wish the radar altimeter to alert you at. The red light comes on when you're below it. Next, you can set the altimeter for the current field. We'll use 2992 standard. Jester told us to set primary in sync, so we'll switch this knob down to primary. And over here behind your right elbow, we have the sync button. We'll left click and hold the sync button for a few seconds, and then let go. That's a spring-loaded switch. Next, we'll set 3 units down on the trim, and put these slats and flaps out.
Slats are out. Flaps down.
Next, the optical sight can go to standby or cage mode, and turn on the RWR with the power switch. Next, turn on the DSCG switch to radar. Next, we'll turn on our oxygen, and make sure you have it on 100% oxygen or normal oxygen, whichever you prefer. Next, we'll reset the pressure compensator. We'll hold the switch for a few seconds, then back to normal. Next, you can reset the altimeter. Make sure the red flag goes away. Next, uncage the standby attitude. Now we can ask the crew chief to remove the wheel chocks.
Roger. Wheel chocks out.
Now the wheel chocks are out, we can turn on our taxi light.
Disconnecting.
Thank you. Taxi light comes on, we're ready for taxi. Okay, we're holding short. Let's do our before takeoff checklist. Optical sight's been checked. Internal wing transfer is normal. It's in normal. Stab AUG switches engage. All 3 of these are engaged. Slats and flaps check out and down. They are out and down. Stab units, 3 units down. That's checked. And we'll close the canopies. Waiting on the Wizzo to close his canopy. Alright, canopies are closed. Warning lights are checked.
Canopy down and locked. Lights out and stripes aligned.
Awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and line up on the runway here. We'll turn on the landing lights. We'll turn on all of our external lights here. And let's line up and wait. It's clear left, clear final. We have no more lights here, so we'll clear the master caution. Runway 36. We'll come to a stop here. Alright, anti-skid on and lights out. It is on, lights out, compass heading check. Runway 36, we're going north. That looks good. Pitot heat comes on. IFF as required. And we'll put that into norm. And warning lights check again. They are good. So the procedure is, on the brakes up to 85%. We'll let go of the brakes, go full power. And at 80 knots, you're going to pull the stick all the way aft. And you're going to hold it aft until the nose wheel starts coming off. And then you're going to start easing off the pressure. So here we go. On the brakes up to 85%. Let go of the brakes and full burn. Here we go.
Engine's good. Airspeed off the peg.
Looking for that 80 knots.
80 knots.
There we go.
Airspeed 100 knots.
I'm all the way aft on the stick. Coming off, easing off. Excellent. Gears coming up. Past 190 knots. Here comes the flaps and slats.
Gear up. Flaps up. Oh, mud, 10 o'clock. Patriot.
And at 350 knots, we'll come out of gates. Excellent. We're on our way. We're flying. Okay, now we're going to learn how to start up the F-4 with the start cartridges. It's actually pretty easy. We'll put on our helmet. And then we'll use the Jester UI button and go to Crew Chief Hand Signals, Air Source, Load Start Cartridges. We'll give that just a second. And then we'll come over here to the right. Turn on our engine master switch. And click on the engine start button to the right. It's the same process, looking for that 10%. There's 10. Hold the right ignition button, go to halfway, and then back to idle. Release the ignition button. There's a good light off. After the engine comes online, we'll turn on the generator and do the same thing for the left engine. Alright, good engine start. Turn on the right generator. And the same thing for the left engine now. Engine master switch. Engine start left. Waiting on that 10%. There it is. Hold the ignition button. Halfway. Idle. Release the ignition button. Engine's coming online. Engine's online. Bring the left generator up. And we'll repeat the same exact process that we did on the startup after starting the engines. Thank you all for joining me on today's F4 video on the cold start with the air start cart as well as the start cartridges. Now I use the F4 manual from Heatblur. It includes multiple checklists and I'll make sure I pin that in the description and in the pinned comment below. Thanks again for the support. See you on the next video.